The Stallone vanity project that literally no one was asking for. Except for Zeke. Zeke asked for it. Jamie?
Yeah.
Let's go watch Cobra. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We are an 80s movie podcast, and wherein every 2 weeks we watch a movie from the 80s, and then we talk about that movie. Mm-hmm. And this week, as though we do this weekly, we don't. It's bi-weekly.
No, that's right.
We got a listener-sponsored episode.
Yeah, we did.
A listener literally said to us, you must watch Cobra. There is no getting around it.
It was a suggestion. It was a request. Would you call it a request? Like, you guys need to watch it. A demand.
It's a demand. That's not a request. That is a demand.
Yeah.
And, my name's Doug McCambridge, and you're Jamie Morello. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Boy, that's a rough way to start this. I think I'm thrown off because this was not our choice. That doesn't make it bad.
Oh, but you are thrown off by the fact that it wasn't part of your compiled list.
I guess.
It throws you off your whole track. You're off your jive.
Yeah. So we should say that listener Zeke Perez did donate at the $15 level, so he got to choose a movie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And folks, if you do that, let's just say there's some people donating at $10. It's not much more to just then tell us what movie to watch, make us watch it. And also, Jamie, I kind of thought I would then send Zeke a unedited version of this show as well.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I like that. So Zeke gets like a full package.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a full package. If I start rifling through the beers and have to use the bathroom,
he's going to listen to 3 minutes of me
singing, 3 minutes of you singing so that I have something to listen to while I'm editing this. And let's say, I don't know, you have Animal Planet on in the background and can't find the remote to turn it off.
That was one time. And then I was too distracted by the Animal Planet.
He'll be able to hear me all the time saying, Jamie, we're still doing a podcast while you talk about an overweight basset hound or whatever.
It was a really sad story, but he did lose the weight, and then he was great after that.
That's fantastic. So,
well, the things he could look forward to, Zeke. The things you're going to look forward to.
I thought you were still talking about that basset hound.
Well, yeah, him too. Now that he's lost the weight,
I'm sure his life turned around.
Longer walks,
longer walks. What all dogs hope to have in their life: longer walks. But thank you, Zeke, for patronizing us and suggesting a movie. So, folks, if you want to do that, go to patreon.com/goodtimesgreatmovies. Donate. Just check it out. Oh, also, people have probably noticed that smaller, little tiny episodes are coming up in our off weeks.
Pretty fun, though.
And then people are noticing that they then disappear.
They're gone then.
I'm putting them up, but I don't want to eat up space in our little hosting thing. So
gotcha.
Those then travel to our Patreon page. They are free. You don't have to donate to listen to those. But once they're gone, that's where they travel to. So if you want to listen to those, go there as well.
There they are.
There's so much to talk about with this movie. There is.
First of all, I'm wearing sunglasses and chewing a toothpick.
And you know what? It's a match.
While we do this.
I think it's a match. Right? Is he chewing a match? I think it's a match.
It was a toothpick. Who chews a match? Why would he chew a match? He never lights anything.
Jamie,
what is he chewing a match for?
Why would you ask why this character does anything? Every choice, and I will call this entire movie a choice by Stallone, every choice is puzzling. Why does he cut pizza with a pair of scissors? What? I could talk about that for an hour and a half. That was... I rewound it twice. 2 times I had to go back and go, why did he cut with scissors? And it's not even like he just cut the crust off, or he cut it vertically so it would be a smaller piece of pizza. It's just like the end.
He just cut it.
And then he threw the rest of it in the box and closed it.
I think that's to show you how sort of MacGyverish, adaptable he is. How he doesn't need your traditional knife or, pizza cutter.
I'm surprised he didn't just shoot the pizza in half.
Well, that was one way to do it. That was one way to do it. You didn't find him super cool?
Oh my God, did I find him super cool? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good.
This is like the coolest Stallone I think I've ever seen in movies. Oh yeah,
this is pretty badass. I think it's a pretty badass character. I mean, considering his first name is really Marion, isn't that the character's first? But it's Cobra.
When this occasionally just veers ever so slightly into the Sly Stallone comedy hour, I loved it.
When he's got these little side glances that he does, and some of his little facial expressions, like when he looks at her when she puts the crazy amount of ketchup on her fries, and he just like looks at her like, what's going on?
That is my favorite part of the movie, is at the end of that scene, just the look he gives when she continues squirting ketchup on French fries.
It's a crazy amount of ketchup, though. You want to talk about him cutting pizza with scissors, I want to talk about the fact that's and the ketchup, the amount of time she squeezes it would have filled they really edited it, because the fries would have been swimming in ketchup. I'm sure of it. But anyway, besides bizarre eating habits by our 2 leads, so the movie is Cobra, right? It's 1986. Is that the year? Cobra. So this is not, like we said, it's a very cool Sly Stallone, and it's not Rocky.
No.
He definitely even changes, like he's got a much gravelier. I can't do it. Perhaps you're our master.
It was really tough to hear him sometimes when he spoke.
Well,
and a lot of times he's whispering. I forget what he says to the bad guy. I have it in my notes.
He's got some great lines that he...
At the very end, when he says, "This is where the law stops and I start," and then he says "sucker," but he just whispers it and he goes, "sucker," and I was like, "What is he saying?"
Oh, he's got some great.
Oh my God, it's. He's not Rocky. He's not Rambo. Like, this is an original character.
Yeah. He is a cobra. He's slick like a snake. He's tough. He looks great. And I have to say, so does Brigitte. Bridget. She looks fantastic. Her hair looks good. Compared to Red Sonja, her performance, her whole thing, like, I thought she did pretty good too.
I did too. I thought near the end when she's saying more things,
when she speaks too much.
Yeah, I kind of thought, oh, that accent is still there.
Yeah.
But wow, when she's at the beginning, when she's just running around that parking garage screaming and yelling,
when she's I
was like, this is not Red Sonja.
No.
This is an actress doing a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. I thought so.
And I do have to say, there were some things that disappointed me about the movie. Many things, but I was
well, actually, many things.
I was so surprised there was no sex scene in this movie. How was there no sex scene in this movie?
Well, I was trying to think if I've ever seen. Does he do sexy sex? Like, has he ever? Maybe he has.
I mean,
done like a butt shot.
Very early on in his career, he was in basically softcore porn, but that was just a single movie, and that was just kind of to get. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he does. You know what? When he was in Tango and Cash.
Oh, yeah.
There was like a double butt shot in the shower, like with both of them.
Okay. I figured he had to have something with a tush shot, but I don't know that he was ever.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised the way
you were looking for it. Were you looking forward to it a little more?
I was surprised.
You're like, they both look really good. They're obviously going to be into each other. It's going to be we did. I mean, they definitely have chemistry.
I could only imagine he was unable to get those jeans off because those. Oh,
that might have been the problem.
Tight.
How tight. Now, this has really nothing to do with the. Were they ever an item? They were, weren't they?
They were married.
They were, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they were married before this movie or just dating, but yeah, they were an item during this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So,
does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because that pairing doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Their chemistry there is no chemistry between the two of them.
Well, she's she's sometimes a hard read, but like I said, I thought she did a great job. Yeah. Really, I was so impressed by her in this.
Wow, okay. All right.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll say it.
I'm impressed that we saw TV's Sledgehammer and he was not given more to do.
I know, right? And we saw Poppy from Seinfeld.
That guy, I was like, who is this guy? I know this guy. I've seen this guy so many times.
He's in other things, too. Like, when you look up his name, I'm like, oh, yeah. But I know him as Poppy.
Oh, I know
Puppy
him as Poppy, too. Yeah, and his character trait is he likes junk food. That's it.
Gonzalez.
Is that his name? I don't know.
Yeah, I wrote Poppy.
I referred
a lot, but he calls him Gonzalez.
My notes are just Stallone, Brigitte, and Poppy all the way through. I did not write character names. Even Cobra, like I kept correcting myself and writing the word Cobra because I'm like, why am I not calling him Cobra? Stallone's so long.
Yeah, I call him Sly in my notes.
Okay,
PS.
I like that.
I got that kind of, but I don't even know Brigitte's character's name.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think I do. Okay.
And I knew she was in this movie. I knew she was second billed. I did not know that was her for a little while in this movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was kind of waiting. I'm like, where's Brigitte Nielsen? Who is this great actress that I'm suddenly seeing?
Easy there with those kind of heavy-handed compliments.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
No. That's fair.
I mean, we all did see Red Sonja like about a year ago, and we know how we felt. Yeah, I'm still scarred. All right, but let's get into Cobra, shall we?
Now, Jamie, you, I assume, did you do any research on this film? Because the research is great.
Oh, I didn't do in this case. I was so excited. I have to tell you, I'm just spoiler alert. I really liked this movie.
Okay, all right.
A lot more than I went into it neutral, like just I never saw this before. Right. And I think I had mentioned on our last podcast that maybe my brother, I remember him seeing it, but I've never seen it before. And I had the pleasure of seeing it, I shall say. But go ahead.
I will. I have to just say a few things because I might forget at the end. So
okay, please. Basically,
this was written by Sly Stallone.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
How did I not realize that?
It was written by him because he was originally on to play the lead in Beverly Hills Cop.
And then it went to...
He took that script, and so he started changing the script and basically making it Cobra. And the studio was like, we can't do this. We're not doing this.
Oh, no way.
And he walked, and he took this script, and he wanted this movie. And he directed... He wrote it. He didn't direct it. People on set said he basically directed it, but he's not credited. The other great thing is it's based on a novel that a woman wrote in the 70s.
Groovy.
And once the movie came out, he wanted the novel reissued, but he wanted a co-writer credit on the novel.
On her novel? On her novel? Oh.
Yeah,
please tell me that did not happen. No. Okay, thank you.
And also, this received an X rating and had to be cut down from over 2 hours to the 84-minute cut.
Well,
that we saw.
am glad. Okay, I'm glad that I saw the 84-minute one because I don't know. I think that was one of the gems about this is that it was wrapped up to me pretty nicely. It was pretty quick moving.
Yeah, when they got to that steel mill or whatever it was.
Oh, I was the big fight, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this really feels like the final fight, but it can't be the final fight. Not now. I was surprised as to how quickly this movie went by. And maybe that means it went down smooth.
That's what. Well, again, so all right. So when the movie opens, we get our first introduction to Stallone in character with this really husky. I can't do it. I should have worked on that. I mean,
it's kind of just Stallone, but
it's a huskier, whisperier version.
Is this when he's giving American crime statistics?
Oh yeah, we get all the statistics of gun violence, rape, and other terrible societal harms that happen. And then I call them Masons, but they're not really Masons. That's we follow this clan of men, or this
yeah, I don't know what they are. There are some weak points with this movie, and it's really fleshing out the motivation of the villains in this movie. I don't understand. Every time it cuts to them, I love how they just have like axes and sledgehammers, and they're just banging them.
And they just bang them.
It looks like a music video. This movie breaks out into a music video at several points.
It does. There's this group of intense men, this society of intense men that apparently are all underground.
I don't know. I'm ready for Madonna to like crawl through.
It did, with like chains on, and they have to
like dump a saucer of milk down her back.
Yeah, get that feeling. But I think the bad guys come from this group of men. We will soon learn. And we're in LA. The movie takes place in LA.
Did you notice that the music? This is when the credits are up, but the music is by a guy named Sylvester LeVay.
I saw that.
It was like, you named Sylvester, my name's Sylvester. You want to make music in my movie? It doesn't have to be very good. That's okay.
That's a really good slide that you do.
I was doing it all throughout the movie.
Were you?
I think I just kept pausing and saying the same thing. He was saying like 250 rapes a day. And I'm very confused by the point of this movie. It's so anti-judicial system. It's like, is his thing just like pro-vigilantism?
He is a police, so he never wears any kind of uniform. He definitely doesn't drive any kind of police car. He's got like this cool, like, what is it, like a 19? I don't know. It's
that's
like this
his
cool
car, by the
car.
way. That's his real car, by the way.
But that's in real life, like his slice. Oh, well, so he's got this cool car he drives around in. He never wears a uniform, but he does show up at the station, and it's kind of clear the other cops really don't like him very much. And he has a partner. Poppy is his partner, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, before we get into that, there's this group of guys is causing just bad news in town. And we see one very scary looking man go into a grocery store and kind of shoots up the grocery store, kind of in the name of the future of people, or like, this is what it's going to be like, basically, right?
Yeah, everything is very vague. Like, I'm a crazy person. We're in charge. Your nation is breeding people like us, and
they know they're bad, and they're proud to be bad. Yes. And they don't have a point. Like, they don't seem to be standing up for anything other than the fact that we're rising over and taking over the world, and
they seem to be
nation.
Angry that the society made people like them, but they're embracing the way that they are.
Yeah, they just decide that they're gonna, and they just like, even in the grocery store, he just kills randomly.
Well, he just shoots products. For most of the time, he just blows away displays.
True.
And stacks of soda. I mean, he really does just kill one guy, and I don't want to say that that's okay.
Well, he does. He takes the store hostage, right? He goes in, shoots up the store a bit, like you said, more the items in the store than the people. He starts to let one guy go, and on his trepidatious walk out of the grocery store, he gets shot in the back, right, and falls into a Christmas display.
Yeah.
And now the investigation is on. Right now, apparently, this group has been doing some harm in the neighborhood as of late. They talk about 7 other murders or something. They're like serial killers or something. But they
basically say, what do they call the guy, like the night slasher or something? But they seem to be under the impression that it's one person. I guess it's an
Not
entire
Cobra.
Organization.
The whole time, Cobra knows.
Oh,
it's
he
the
knows.
Organization.
He knows everything.
He says, "You guys keep thinking it's just one guy. It's not." He So when he first shows up on screen, Sly, again, he's got the match/toothpick in his mouth. He's got the sunglasses. He's got the painted on pants. He looks, and what does his license plate say?
Oh,
Did you Austin something?
Yeah, it's really stupid because it really does say something like awesome 50 or something. I don't understand.
He jumps out of the car and then into the grocery store. He's got this like cool but kind of jerky moves that he does, right? When he looks around for the bad guy. When I love how he walks
right in the door, like between the two doors, and he looks down. There's a lady cowering, and I'm like, the door's right there. You could just. Why are you still in the store?
There's a whole group of police officers. Again, it's a hostage situation. There's all these police officers outside the store. They're shouting to the guy, right?
The one guy has to make a point to Cobra, and he's like, just to let you know, I didn't want them to bring you in for this.
Well, that's the guy that he punches at the end. Doesn't he punch that guy in the face in the end?
Yeah, he says no hard feelings, and he punches him. He's like, yeah, no hard feelings. And then he steals a motorcycle and drives away.
Oh, he's so badass. Oh yeah. So Stallone gets into the grocery store to get this.
I could watch the grocery store scene. Him cutting
the displays
pizza
are really good too.
The displays.
Like there's
that Pepsi display is amazing.
I know the guy drinking his own Pepsi or the pouring of the Pepsi.
Yeah. I like how he just stops to drink a little bit of beer for a second.
He taunts the guy. He kind of like
he gets
plays
on the
a
PA.
Little. Yeah. What does he say to him over the PA? Hey, you dirtbag, you're a lousy shot.
I don't like lousy shots. You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
I don't deal with psychos. I put them away.
Because the guy's like, I don't want to talk to you. He gets some cameras in here, some reporters. He's like, he wants to do that. I don't deal with psychos. Why? Does this guy think you're in charge of the news outlets in town?
No, it's with the guy. So that's part of their thing too, or at least this guy in particular. He wants this whole thing to be caught on the news. He wants they're like, that's part of their gig, I guess.
They just want the exposure.
Making a statement. They want to make a bit of a statement.
Okay.
Yeah. But Cobra eventually does kill him, right?
He throws a knife at him. Yeah.
Yeah. Takes this
cool
guy down.
Knife, yes.
Yeah.
He throws a knife at him and then shoots him about 85 times.
Just to make sure. Because, he's a bad guy. And then all of a sudden, it's like there's news cameras everywhere.
My God.
And there's journalists. You could tell so apparently Cobra is the kind of cop. He's like you said, sort of this vigilante cop. He doesn't play by the rules.
He's on the zombie squad. They say
the zombie squad. They do say he's on you can move up from so the news kind of gets on him about does he have to kill the people that he, did he have to kill?
And that comes to nothing. Like, it really does. It's just one guy and he's like, did you really have to kill him? Do you have to go in there and use that force? I'm like, that guy shot a guy in a grocery.
He's a dangerous man.
He killed somebody. I get it, Cobra.
But I guess that's a thing. We want to know that Cobra takes these risks and because the guy that he punches in the face, the guy that the cop guy he doesn't get along with, he says too, like, well, he's just too aggressive or he's too violent or something like that.
There is a point where he says to Cobra, he's like, hey, and this time make sure you shoot the right guy. And I'm like, what did he do in the past? Because that sounds terrible.
I think he's just, he's a renegade of sorts.
He plays by his own rules.
Exactly. Yeah. What he does play by when we get treated to this lovely little montage of him before he cuts up his pizza with scissors, there's a nice Gloria Estefan song that comes
Miami
on.
Sound Machine comes on.
Very nice.
Of course, as he harasses some Hispanic people, you have to have Miami Sound Machine
some
playing.
Local Latinos, as I put in my notes.
Later on, when he meets the guy again, that song plays again as though it's that Hispanic guy's theme.
His song, yeah. So this is a weird. So does he rear end them with his car?
Yeah, that seems to be his parking spot, I guess.
And he kind of hits their car.
Yeah, like pushes it forward.
Mm-hmm. And then they get in his face about it, and he pulls the cigarette out of the guy's mouth and rips his like the guy's wearing like a guinea tee, like a tank top, and just Cobra just rips it off of him.
And also, Jamie, fun fact, he was not supposed to do that in that scene.
Oh, really?
Because you can also see the guy's mic is taped to his chest. And all through the scene, the guy's like, hey, what's going on? It's clearly, there's a big X of tape on his chest.
You know, when you're Sly and it's your movie.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could get crazy.
He didn't want to reshoot that. I'm not going to reshoot that. That's great.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Look at me. It looks so good.
Oh, and also at the end of the movie, the facts about this movie. I'm going to say stuff, but Jamie,
I'm so sad I didn't look them up. But this also.
The end scene where he faces off against the main bad guy, and the main bad guy
and he puts him on a hook.
Place.
Yeah.
The bad guy, he had to act with like a script girl because Stallone was busy watching a basketball game on TV.
No way.
He wouldn't come out and do the coverage. No.
Are you serious?
Yep. Also, cast and extras were not allowed to speak to Stallone throughout the making of the film.
Wow, he had to really take himself very seriously.
I do like to think that he was just a method actor and he was just Cobra.
He was getting into and Cobra doesn't really like people.
No,
you know,
I don't even
That's
think
why
he likes his partner.
He's got it. Well, he's nice to Poppy.
He is nice to Poppy
or Gonzalez, but he lives alone in his little beach apartment. I think that's the first time he takes those sunglasses off is when he's at that house. That's the first time in the movie he's actually like letting loose, I guess.
He has them on all the time. They're in the hospital at night, and he's got those sunglasses
and he's wearing them. Yep. Mm-hmm. But they're so cool.
Oh,
he's got the toothpick in his mouth half the time too. Yeah. Even at times that it's like you were just there's no need, or whatever it is.
I do like how his move, and this does happen in the grocery store, his misdirect move, because he takes the match out of his mouth to open a Coors and to drink it and then to throw it so that the guy shoots at it. And he does that about 8 times in this movie. Just throws something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's, again.
It works.
His moves. It's his moves. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Oh, I did write that Poppy looks like a newsie. When we first
with
see him, doesn't he?
Cap. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like an old newsie.
He does. This group of guys, this menacing group of men that are out on the streets, keep doing their harm, I guess you could say, on society. And it is a scary thing when you think about it to see anybody with the pantyhose on their face, like they have the bad guys.
Oh yeah.
It is a creepy thing, and they cut their little eyeballs out, so it looks even weirder. They don't cut their eyeballs out.
What?
They put eye spaces in the pantyhose. So it looks even creepier, and it does give just a creepy vibe. Plus, the actors that play, especially the actor that we meet that plays the lead bad guy, again, I don't even know his name. He's
great.
Crazy looking.
He is crazy looking. He spits so much at the end of this movie.
There's a lot of saliva, yeah.
When he just says pig every third word. I want your eyes, pig. I want them, pig.
Now, I wondered, because he sort of looked like a bodybuilder type or something, like, I don't know why.
No, he's an actor.
Okay.
He's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of TV. I think he was in X-Files episodes and stuff like that. So he's a legitimate actor in this movie.
Gotcha.
He and Poppy have gone on to do amazing TV work, I guess.
Well, is he the one that is messing with? So, okay. Then we get to meet Brigitte, right? I'm not skipping over anything major, right?
Well, you are skipping. This is when he cuts his pizza with scissors. He watches he watches a Christmas
movie,
a Christmas Toys R Us commercial.
Oh yeah.
And then that's when the news reporters are like, "Oh, the night slasher struck again," and we do see a lady leave her shift at a diner.
Oh yeah, and then some men come. And,
it appears that this evil gang's thing is to accost women in their cars with axes and sledgehammers.
Mm-hmm. They're a
Because
violent group.
We see it a couple times.
Yeah, that's sort of their gig, right?
Right. This is when we see a woman
in her truck, right?
There's a woman who gets like rear-ended under like an overpass.
Right.
Yeah, and this is when we see a woman get out of the van and sort of approach her, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I can't believe I didn't mean to hit you." And the lady's like, "Why don't you look where you're going?" And suddenly she says,
"Are you trying?"
Right.
Yeah, and then the woman goes down in a sledgehammer of fury.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
And a sledgehammer of fury, yes.
There you go.
And this is when we do see Brigitte Nielsen, almost like the scene in Fargo when the people like drive by.
Oh, yeah,
after he kills the cop and they just look out the window and go very slowly by. That's kind of what Brigitte Nielsen does here.
Yeah. She's totally rubbernecking this scandalous. Well, did they leave? Because is there a body on the bench too, kind of slumped over? Is that the lady's body?
I don't know, because it appears that she really didn't see anything terrible happen.
No, and then she just saw the one guy who looked at her all weird like.
Right.
And because even when she tells, I think she tells Poppy, or maybe she tells Sly, how, I saw that guy, know him. He looked at me weird. But she doesn't say, like, I saw him kill someone.
No.
You know? Because she didn't.
This becomes this evil group's entire plan then.
Oh, now all they want to do is...
Because she saw nothing.
Well, they think she's seen something. She's the only witness but she's not really a witness, but... I guess she's the only one that can identify who she's seen.
And we know she didn't see anything either because she immediately goes to her model shoot with a bunch of robots. This is another music video scene.
So all of a sudden, she's witnessed something. We don't know what. Now they are after her.
Yeah.
And now, I guess somehow he gets wind to find her, right? Cobra gets it's like, there's a girl out there that's seen something, you should find her. Because he starts to search.
I don't understand.
Right? There's a music montage that happens to the song Angels of the City. I wrote it down.
It's great. It is great because at this point in the movie, I was like, who's this lady? What is happening? Why are there... And then at the end of the song, I was like, are those robots? Why are there all these robots?
Yeah, so the weird photo shoot. Okay, so Cobra is like interviewing people in right? Or just kind of investigating, trying to find her, I guess, or more leads on these killers. And she is is modeling with these crazy
robots,
like you said, robots.
And they're giant robots. They're bigger.
Huge.
They're bigger than the robots in
and these
Chopping Mall.
No, they're like this. Like it's like an art display or something, an art exhibit. There's a giant bug one. There's like a weird bug robot, and then.
It doesn't make sense because she's like posing also with a ladder. It's just a big ladder and she's surrounded by robots.
And it's just her, right? She's got pink hair at one point. She's got a breezy like slip thing on. And then at the end, who's the actor that plays the photographer too?
It is Sledgehammer.
It's Sledgehammer. Yeah. It's Sledgehammer.
And he's oh man, I loved it when they were walking through the parking garage.
Oh my god.
Because his lines are amazing.
So he essentially wants to sleep with her, and she's going,
he says
no.
It. I mean, he literally is like, listen, I really want to sleep to you. And at one point he goes, I'm not doing this for me.
Yeah, he says, I'm trying to help you find happiness, he tells her.
It's really great.
And she's rejecting him, and he's like, come on, it's what you gotta do, basically.
Yeah, and I love it. Even after she rejects him, his response is then, okay, fine. So where do you want to go have dinner?
Exactly. I guess I have to feed you then. Right. It's really, But while they're down in the parking garage, the bad guys are also down there, right?
Yeah.
And they get him. Don't they get the photographer?
They get him. I was waiting for him to pop back up because we don't necessarily see him die. They hit him with a crowbar or something like that. She
screams, though, loud enough where you think something terrible has happened to him.
Well, then she screams so loud that the security guard comes down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, she forgot her bag upstairs.
Oh, that's what he's doing.
And the security guy has to bring the security bag, or the security guy has to bring her bag down. Guard.
He's just trying to do the right thing.
He's just helping her, really.
And he gets leveled by a van, just smushed by a van. And that's the thing. This group, this evil organization, is constantly smashing vans, destroying them. They all have motorcycles. And later on in this movie, they all seem to run directly into Cobra's bullets. Like, he kills everybody effortlessly throughout this movie.
Well, because he's Cobra. I mean, he's just as cool as a snake, I guess. Yeah, because he's Cobra.
Sure, but she does get away. She gets away. She manages to
she hides from them. And, yes,
and then cops show up or something.
Well, that's when then Cobra and Poppy get their hands on her, and they get to question her.
Well, I knew they were questioning her. They don't rescue her in the
I don't
parking.
Think so.
It's just regular cops show up, and the bad guys are like, "Let's get out of here," and they just leave. Yeah. Yeah, but they question her in a very dark hospital. I love hospitals in movies and TV shows. Like if you watch Grey's Anatomy or something, the hospital, it's always dark and it's always dim. And then when you go to a hospital, it's so bright. And
yeah, they have that crazy lighting.
This is literally in my notes. We've gone this far in the movie, and in my notes, while she's being questioned, I wrote in all caps, "Is this Brigitte Nielsen?"
You still were not sure.
I did not know until this point in the movie because there was this fine actress running around.
She did her screaming when she gets really scared, and you didn't know her by the modeling then with the giant robots.
No, I think I was just distracted by the robots.
Yeah, it was confusing. Like, what's happening? And what? Right. And then I wondered at first if the robots had something to do with the crazy cult group of men. I didn't know if maybe that was a sign for that. And I was like, these robots, something I should pay attention to. But I think they were just crazy.
Me too. I have to tell you, I was a little excited that we might see some some killer robots again.
Yeah, because they were talking about, world, domination of time. This, we're rising, we're coming. I thought maybe they're going to control, it's these men and these robots. But really, no, it's just the robots and Brigitte. In the hospital, don't they eat her leftover food? Don't they eat her leftover hospital food? I feel like they do.
I'm sure Poppy's doing that. That's,
Poppy likes his snacks. He likes his junk food.
He likes his snacks. He likes his... Later on, he's drinking Coca-Cola, and I was like, can you have Coke and Pepsi in the same movie? This seems illegal. This seems like you shouldn't be able to put those products in the same movie.
Stallone probably said, don't question. Don't question me. Come on.
Hey, I like Coke, I like Pepsi. It doesn't matter.
Some days I don't know. It depends on the day of the week what I prefer.
Nobody's going to know. What do you think? You think Coke's going to call up? I don't care. I got to go watch
They're both going to be so happy to be in my movie.
Hey, Mr. Coca-Cola, it's me, Sty Stallone.
Sty Stallone. I got that sty in my eye,
I got Sty Stallone. That's how I say my name now. I'm on the phone. This is a business deal. Listen. I had Poppy drink some of your drink in my movie. Is that cool? You don't mind, right?
Poppy.
Who's Poppy? I don't know. It's going to be huge later. There's a guy named Seinfeld was creeping
Gonzalez.
around the set.
Okay.
It's like, I see big things from this guy. He looks like the type of guy who might pee on a couch.
Oh my God, I could listen to you do Sly for you do the rest of the podcast.
I want to do all the stuff that he does. I want to pick up a bobblehead. I want to shake my head to the bobblehead. I want to pick up a giant display hamburger and walk over.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, your order's up. And she laughs like it's really funny. And he's like, this is an order. It's for a big family. Like, Stallone, relax. You didn't write these lines, right? Like, you're just doing this. Oh, all right.
Oh, Sty. Stop it, Sty. She is in the hospital. She's being put on some sort of watch, right, in the hospital?
Yep.
Poppy is supposed to be watching her, But somehow he got some kind of shady call. Well, because P.S. and I think Cobra does make mention of this, that he feels like there's somebody on the inside feeding that cult information.
Right, yes.
And sure enough, there is a lady detective or a lady cop.
We see her immediately. It's the lady who got out of the van at the beginning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the next scene, she's in uniform, like hacking into... Oh, she finds out where she is in the hospital, right?
Yeah,
like that's what she's doing. She's in their database or whatever. Okay.
And so we do have there's the bad guy goes. I'll just call him the bad guy because I don't know his name otherwise.
He doesn't know his name.
He goes into the hospital dressed as a janitor, right?
Well, he kills the janitor.
Oh, he kills the janitor first, yeah. And then he is the janitor. In the meantime, again, Poppy was supposed to be, I guess, watching her door.
I do like how the nurse sees the janitor, and he's got the mop and bucket, and he's walking down, the bad guy dressed as the janitor, and she's like... Oh, she looks at her watch and she's like, it's really late for him to be mopping up.
Yeah,
and then we see a tight shot of her feet walking on carpet. The whole place is carpeted. That should be the question. Like, oh, this floor's carpeted. I wonder why he's up here with a mop.
Why does he have his mop? Yeah, what is he doing with his mop? She's got, the nurse has some flirty relationship going on. It's weird that the security guard that she's talking to does nothing about the janitor.
He says, he's like, do you want me to go talk to him? She's like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, is this the guy that's supposed to be stationed outside the room? Like,
No, I think it was supposed to be Poppy.
Right, yeah. Later on, I was like,
but
no,
you're
it's
like,
Poppy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, wait, maybe Poppy put this guy in charge. I don't know, but anyway.
I love that we keep calling him Poppy, and he's not Poppy in this movie. But that's okay. For some reason, Cobra calls Poppy and is like, what are you doing? Get back in the hospital, right? Why did you leave the hospital?
Yeah, he does. He calls him and they talk for a little while and he goes, wait a second, where are you? What? Because Cobra gets attacked at his apartment.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. They send some guys and he beats them up. And then, that's when he calls Bobby. He's like, Bobby, what are you doing back at the station? You need to be there. And then he's like, oh, no. And he has to run back to the hospital.
Doesn't she yell, why you do this to me?
Yeah.
Why you do this?
That's when I was like, oh, that is Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah. Which I guess, though, is how you would, like, why are they trying to kill her? Why are they so after her?
She didn't see anything.
No. This is a little bit of waste of your energy right now.
They put all their resources behind this.
Yes.
I mean, they were just walking around, like, clanging axes together. So they have the manpower.
I guess there's enough of them.
The slasher tries to kill Brigitte, but she locks herself in the bathroom.
Right.
And then she escapes out the back door. Like, there's 2 doors in this bathroom.
Oh, yeah. She is good at getting away in this movie. She's very good at kind of...
Her physicality in this movie is good. Like, it matches Stallone's. Like, she's constantly running and jumping and, I mean, she did a little bit of that in Red Sonja, but I was impressed, like I said, how physical she was in her performance. Yeah. But she does finally pull the fire alarm.
Oh, that's right.
And we see in a hospital that I thought was empty, everybody just pours out of their rooms.
That's right. And it's funny how the whole time that she's screaming and running, and I guess everybody else was asleep in the hospital until she pulled the fire alarm.
There's like one nurse on duty, I guess.
And the security guard that was up there just like called it a night and didn't worry about what happened on that floor after the nurse was like, it's all good.
It's like the hospital in Halloween 2 when the nurses are like, let's just take a sexy bubble bath. And the halls are just empty. But finally Stallone shows up and she and Stallone kind of embrace. And this is when we cut to Stallone arguing with the other cops about putting her in a safe house.
Oh, yeah. Is that when he decides that he'll just, like, kidnap her in a way, right? No, he's gonna drive her. He doesn't really kidnap her.
Right, yeah, I guess he's gonna drive her. I don't know what's happening. He is eating an apple in this scene. I took note of that because nothing comes of it. I was ready for him to do something really crazy with it, but he just eats an apple.
You're like, oh, what's up with that apple,
right.
Stallone? Yeah.
If you do that with pizza, what's it going to do with this apple?
Yeah, what kind of crazy thing's going to get that apple off a knife? What's going to happen here?
Right. Well, this is when there's a car chase.
I was going to say there's a car chase that happens here, an intense one in an alleyway.
Well, this is when it's repetitive because they're arguing. He's like, well, I need to take her to the safe house. She's only going to be safe with me. And they get in this crazy-ass car chase, and then the very next scene is like, I told you we got to take her to a safe house. Man. She's got to be with me now. You just had this conversation.
Thought that's what you guys were doing. What are you doing? You're repeating yourselves. Yeah.
The car chase is really intense.
It does don't they drive through the second, they drive through a parking garage, don't they? Through and out the second story, stair of the parking garage, right?
And did you see this? I know it's a Stallone stunt double driving, but I swear they just have a dummy in the passenger seat because every time this car hits something, that dummy is flopping around. Brigitte Nielsen would have broken her neck 20 times in this car chase.
She's got terrible whiplash. Yeah. She drives a car later on. She's driving
a great job.
Yeah, she does. Well, from what we can see, yeah.
Yeah. But in the end, his car is then destroyed.
Oh,
because
a flame.
They drive up and he hits a boat. He somehow runs into a boat with his car.
Doesn't he have turbo blasters on his car too that he turns off?
Of course he does.
Makes his car go up to 110 miles an hour or something crazy.
Yep. And it literally he flips up a thing that literally says nitro boosters.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's jumping over hills. He's going on a boat.
They run into a hot dog cart.
Oh yeah.
There's just napkins everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
The bad guy also
doesn't he ask later for them to replace his car? Don't they?
It's one of my favorite parts of this movie because the chief of police or whatever is like, Cobra, you did such a great job. You're the best. Anything you want, we can give it to you. How about you reimburse me for my car? Oh, no, we can't do that.
It's not in the budget. I think they tell him.
It's not anything you want. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, sorry. You should probably have thought twice before driving your car like a lunatic and installing those turbo busters.
During this car chase, the bad guy at one point does pop out and he shoots 2 gasoline tankers and both of these trucks explode.
Oh, yeah, just explode.
But he's able to drive through the flames. At the end, this is the only time he's injured. At the end, the car flips, and he gets out. He has the tiniest cut on his forehead.
Oh, he wears a Band-Aid on the forehead later to just show you. Oh, man.
It really is it is crazy how he's never injured. He does. The car rolled 8 times. He gets out with a tiny cut. And his reaction is whoa, that was pretty rough.
I'm telling you, I think I was semi-distracted by your Sly Stallone. Now that what was this car chase about, P.S.? How did the people just were after her again, and now they were
again
trying to get to her through him, and they get away, and now he's really, like you said, going to take her out of the city, right? They're going on. They're going to take her to her safe house or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Stallone, and now we get treated to a little Brigitte in a beret. That's always fun.
Well, she's very fashionable, Jamie.
Yeah,
she's
of course, she's a model. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's the beret stuck to the side of her head.
It's a beautiful little road trip they take, right?
They have such a fun little drive, and this is where he's like, the judicial system, we put him away and they let him out.
Well, we get a little insight into who he is, right?
Yeah.
What does he say? Or who says this? Who says this about him? I wrote this down. Maybe Poppy says it. He looks like a fugitive from the 50s, but he's good with catching psychos.
Yep,
Is it the
cop? He's good with catching psychos. This is when we have that scene of Poppy and Brigitte Nielsen talking intercut with...
yeah. That's when she finds out his real name is Marion.
Right, yes. But every now and then it switches back to Cobra, standing at this, a little stand where this lady appears to be selling stuff from the dollar store.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just playing with the toys and shaking the bobbleheads, and he just says things like, but this is a big seller.
And then when he leaves, he's like, sorry, we didn't buy anything.
Sorry,
right?
no sale today.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like, was that just a place that the crew stopped at and they were just like filming Stallone? Like, is that just,
just like
behind the scenes? Yeah. They're like, we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that in the movie because it worked.
I did laugh when she was talking to him about how his name's Marion, and he goes, I was wanted a name that was a lot tougher. She's like, really? Like what? And he goes, Alice.
That's his crazy sense of humor. She laughs hysterically at it.
And I was laughing hysterically as well.
It is a good one. He is charming in it, that little zombie squad.
Also,
member.
very quickly, we go back to those guys clanging axes. And I'm like, this is all
they're
they
dancing
do?
this time. They're like dancing. Well, there's a scene earlier. At some point, we see the bad guy they're always clanging axes or sharpening knives.
Yep.
And, like, the one guy's constantly, like, sharpening his knife or many knives. And he's got
his knife is
weird,
cool.
like,
knuckle
thing, like a thing that goes on his hand that's all spikes and sharp knives.
Yeah,
right?
like the handle of the knife. The part that goes over your knuckles. I don't know knife terminology, but that has spikes on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks very dangerous. Yeah.
I almost called it a hilt. It's not a hilt, right? A hilt is the thing on a sword that like goes over top of your palm, right? Is that a hilt?
This isn't any kind
Jamie,
of
tap into
with.
your blade knowledge.
I'm
knowledge
not.
of weapons.
I'm going to say...
Okay.
Jamie, and I'm not going to be
Jamie, you need a life preserver because your french fries are drowning.
Is that what he says to her?
That's what he says. She asks if she wants a life preserver, and she does not understand. She just looks at him and goes, what are you talking about?
What? Do you think that's something that happened between them, like on their first date? She put crazy amounts of ketchup on food, and he was like, I'm gonna write about that.
I hope that's true. I want that to be true so badly. I need a great release of this with a Stallone commentary, and I want to know everything about this movie.
I need to know what was the motivation, because she just keeps squeezing the ketchup bottle and squeezing it, and no, that's just not.
I have to find a still of his expression. He looks
at her and he raises an eyebrow.
It's a mix of shock, confusion, and disgust, like all at once.
Yeah. She's oblivious, but they do have a bit of a love scene, I guess you could say, but it's not a sex scene.
I love these little cottages that they're in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. This is great.
Yeah, it looks like they find themselves, I'm going to say maybe Central California. I don't know. It's like a...
Because at first it's at night, and the place is like called like the Courtyard Motel, and you can't tell at night that they're just like these individual little bungalows.
Yeah, they're adorable.
At the end, like, Poppy just walks up, and I'm like, oh, he had his own little house. That's cool.
Well, they also, for some reason, drag that woman with them too, the lady detective.
She is assigned to be with them, which seems like something that Cobra would not approve of.
Right? That I'm not sure why. And he literally like watches her at one point phone a call in, right?
She's always on the phone.
Yeah.
She's so bad at being a sneaky cop.
She's not a very good sneaky cop at all. So when they're at this little cottage rendezvous place, she is the one that tips off the bad guys to let them know where they are.
And this is when Stallone, he and Brigitte are sharing a little cottage.
Oh, of course.
And I love how he's just taking guns. He's taking grenades out. He takes like, I guess, police-issued grenades.
Well, we don't really know if they're police-issued because he is a badass police officer.
And
he doesn't follow the rules.
He's loading the guns. He's cleaning the guns. And in the background, 8 feet away, Brigitte Nielsen sits up and he's like, can't you sleep? And I'm like, all I've been hearing is click, clack, cluck, clack, click, clack, 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 clack. I'm like, no, she can't sleep. But yeah, you're right. They do. Do they even kiss? Or do they just like get close to kissing and we fade to black?
I think they kiss and then we fade to black.
All right.
Yeah.
We fade to, and it is a great, the evil gang is getting ready and they're all on motorcycles. And then we cut to real tight shots of Stallone's eyes, like slowly blinking, I guess, because he's tired at night.
Cobra needs his rest, you know? Sure.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes at this point, no nudity, no Stallone buns.
Oh, you were disappointed. You were.
It's Brigitte Nielsen.
Right.
And it's Sylvester Stallone in the tightest jeans I've ever seen in a movie.
Maybe that was part of what was edited out. You said there was a lot that we didn't see.
You know, I didn't see anything about that. It all seemed to be violence. All right, well. Anyway.
For your imagination then, sir. For your imagination.
Listen, I will use my imagination, of course. But I was just very surprised.
Yes. You were surprised. Mm-hmm. We'll take it. We'll take it. Didn't ruin it for you. You knew that they consummated their relationship, right? Because doesn't he?
Oh, I knew this was
in the morning.
I knew this was a love to last forever. I do like how the bikers at this point come in and like harass the local town folk.
Oh, yeah. And they get Poppy, right? Don't they harass the little Poppy?
Well, they're throwing bombs and they're shooting the thing, and they finally realize that the policewoman is bad, and they do shoot Poppy after they set his cottage on fire.
His cottage.
Brigitte Nielsen is able to get into a pickup truck where Stallone stands in the back of this pickup truck while she is flying down the street, and he is just gunning down everybody.
It's pretty badass.
She's standing in the back of this. It's amazing.
And even at one point, she's like, she does do a pretty good job of driving it, but there's something they're coming up to. What do they come up to? And she's like, what do I do? And he's like, just keep driving.
Yeah, it's like, just stuff on fire. They're always driving through things that are on fire. Yeah.
It's a dangerous terrain they have out there. But yeah, then it's kind of like, it reminded me of like a video game or something, when she's driving him and he's in the back. Because I'm like, I wonder if they made a video game version of this movie Cobra. And like, I could see it being like where you had to be either the truck driver or you had to be Cobra in the truck shooting the bad guys. Like, you were either Brigitte trying to control. It would make it for a cool.
Oh, that would make for a great game. I love the idea that it could be a 2-player game and one person is just Brigitte Nielsen through the whole thing. Well, in this level, I have to go to my modeling shoot.
Yeah, right. I've got to climb on top of that robot.
I have to choose my outfits. When do I put on this beret?
Are you beret Brigitte or no beret Brigitte?
Brigitte?
They do Brigitte?
I don't know if her name is pronounced Brigitte.
They get to a vineyard at some point, don't they?
No, it's an orange grove.
An orange grove.
Yeah, directly next to a steel mill.
Yeah, right next to this weird steel mill factory. There's a security guard there, though, right?
Oh, this security guard is great. I love the security guards in this movie because Brigitte Nielsen runs into this. After they killed 80% of the gang, there's just like 3 people left, or there's a handful at this point. But Brigitte Nielsen runs to this orange grove, to this steel factory, which is operational with no employees anywhere.
Right.
But there is one security guard, and he's got like a clipboard, and she's banging on the glass, and he turns around, and he is having none of it. He's just kind of like, just waves her away, like, get out of here.
Get out. Go on with yourself. She's like screaming, help, help. And he
wants none of it. He's killed immediately. But his reaction to her desperate cry for help is great.
When Stallone uses his grenades, he doesn't just set them off. He shoots them, doesn't he?
He sets them up. He like walks through the factory and puts them in these key positions. And he burns several people in this factory. Like one guy, he dumps gasoline all over him.
Oh, yeah.
And then takes the match out of his mouth and sets him on fire.
He kicks ass.
He really does play by his own rules. He is not... And even after he does all this, the bad guy at the end is like, you gotta take me in. They're going to think that I'm crazy. I'm like, you are crazy.
Oh, yeah, the bad guy tries to convince him. That's a weird... Oh, wait, back up. Before he... talking about the guy that he lights, that he pours gasoline on and lights on fire. When he pours the gasoline on him, I think he tells him, "You have the right to remain silent."
Yeah, not
right?
a good pun.
Doesn't he whisper that
Nothing
to him?
with flames, nothing with fire, nothing with lighting, nothing. You have the right to remain silent. It's not. It's not good writing, Stallone.
No, but the delivery was.
Oh well,
awesome.
his delivery throughout this movie borders on lazy and uninterested, mixed with intensity.
Very intense at times.
Yeah.
So he does. He kills or burns or destroys most of the bad guys that are left. Even die. They get the woman, right? The woman detective gets in there.
Well, he's about to kill him. This is after the bad guy starts screaming, "Pig! Pig! I want your eyes, pig! You want to go to hell with me, pig?"
Yeah, you want to go to hell?
And this is when he says things like, "Even I have rights, don't I, pig?" And he's about to shoot him because he says this is where the law stops and I start. But the woman who we thought was dead, she got shot earlier. She jumps on his back.
Oh, right.
And then she's killed somehow. I don't know how she's killed. But then it's a big showdown between he and the main bad guy.
And while the showdown's happening, earlier we see that precarious hook that's circling around this.
It is huge.
Factory, yeah. And as soon as I see it for the first time, I'm like, I think someone's going to die on that hook.
And I'll bet it's not Cobra.
Exactly. But yeah, the bad guy does that speech about civilization and
it's
who they are.
No, he's talking about the New World Order. It's like Alex Jones. I don't know what he's talking about. It's all vague nonsense that Stallone wrote in an afternoon one day. It doesn't really come to anything. They fight around molten steel and stuff.
Yeah.
Their faces are inches away from molten steel. I'm like, that seems really hot. I think that would hurt more than just them going, oh. And then he does. He lifts him up and hangs him on a hook. And the hook carries him into fire. Yeah,
and then while he's on the hook, he's screaming.
His screams are
and burning
great.
Alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Poppy's okay. Poppy's okay. He has to go to the hospital. He wants to eat some gummy bears.
I would kill for some what? What would you kill for? And I'm like, it's going to be junk food. And he goes, gummy bears. And they have a great laugh about it.
It's fun times. Yeah. He's okay. He wants gummy bears. Mm-hmm. Cobra gets congratulated, right? The precinct says he's done a great job here.
He earned it.
He did. Even, again, like we mentioned earlier, even the guy that wasn't his biggest fan, the cop that wasn't his biggest fan, tells him what a good job he does.
Actively hates him. It's not that he's not his biggest fan. That guy hates him. They have a distaste for each other, but it's clear because then he punches him right in the face. Punches him,
right?
Yep.
Basically.
And, Jamie, originally in the script, that guy was going to turn out to be a bad guy.
Oh.
He was going to be the big bad guy in charge of the whole thing. And Stallone was going to kill him. I don't know why that was changed.
And then they picked a lady, because the lady detective that kind of...
Well, I assume the lady was still going to be in it. But just at the very end, it was going to be revealed.
Gotcha. Kind of like in Turner and Hooch when you realize that it was Craig T. Nelson.
Wait, so Craig T. Nelson is a bad guy. So the only other person in this movie that has an acting career is the main bad guy? I did not see it coming.
Anyway, after he's been congratulated for doing a job well done, he hops on his motorcycle with Brigitte.
Right? Did you notice, because I knew this was the end of the movie, and I'm like, this has to end great. The ending isn't amazing. He does hop on a motorcycle, and I'm like, whose motorcycle is that? Because they were driving a truck. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and he just asked them to reimburse his car, and they won't. No. So.
But the camera at the end of this movie, if anybody can just see the end of this movie, it's great. Because the camera is on them on a motorcycle, and in the background there's a helicopter. And at the same time, they start driving away, and the helicopter lifts off, and the cameraman starts to follow them, but then goes back to the helicopter and follows that as it lifts off for no reason whatsoever. It's like he got distracted or did not know what to focus on.
Or didn't know which one to focus on. I'm not sure. What are we looking at? Huh?
Yeah, and then at the end they drive through some credits to a band that I went, this is not Springsteen, but my God, it sounds like Springsteen. I had to look it up. I was like, he did not lend his vocal talents to this movie, right? And I was not disappointed. He did not.
He didn't. There you have it.
And there you have it. Cobra.
Yeah. Cobretti is his last name. Right?
Marion Cobretti. Mm-hmm. A movie that, again, I had wanted to see since I was 12 years old.
So you had never
seen it, but it was like that poster is burned into my brain. Like, I knew that he had a gun with a laser sight. I knew that he had those cool sunglasses. Always wanted to see it. And I finally, thanks to Zeke Perez, got to see this movie.
And? You're sad there was no sex scene.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've mentioned that about 8 times so far. But it's worth watching. I mean, I'll say that. I wish it was crazier than it was.
You're missing what was edited out, I suppose.
No, not. I don't necessarily mean more violent, but I mean like worse. Like there were so many parts where I was laughing, and I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be laughing, but this is so silly. I wish there was more of that. You know what I mean? Because there were other parts where I just kind of sat and I went, all right, this is just kind of an action movie that I've seen 1,000 times. Oh my God, something crazy's happening. Like, I wish that happened almost nonstop. I mean, but like I said, I enjoyed watching. It was fun. Right. It was fun to sit down and watch. Yes. I have to agree with that. Fan, but go ahead.
Well, I didn't see it before. I assume that maybe growing up, not that every Italian American watched all Sylvester Stallone movies, but I assume maybe I had seen it in the background of my childhood, you know, and I didn't recognize it at all. And I thought with Sylvester Stallone and Brigitte Nielsen, this movie's just not going to be my jam. And I enjoyed it. I think, I don't know that I would have enjoyed the unedited 2-hour extremely violent version.
No.
But it was definitely not, like you said, there was definitely some plot fill-ins that needed to happen. Like, what are these bad guys? What's really going on? But it was an enjoyable watch for me.
Yeah, I think I was kind of disappointed that the bad guys' purpose was not, it seemed to not be thought through at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They were just, they're bad guys. You know, they're evil. You get it, right?
Look how angry they are with their sledgehammers and their axes. Right. Look, they society they're against, the same society that created them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, so I would say go watch this movie, and so would Jamie. She thinks it's great. This movie was also a huge hit.
Was it?
It only cost $25 million. It made $160.
Well, now, when was it, like, I guess this was sort of peaky for Stallone's career, or?
Oh, my God, Jamie, this was made directly after Rocky IV.
Really?
And right before Over the Top. Wow, this is an interesting period in Stallone's career. Because then there's Rambo 3. The next year it's Tango and Cash. Ooh, then it's Rocky V. It's Oscar after that. Yeah, this is...
So this is like the beginning of the end.
Pretty rough, yeah. Wow. I mean, he was still a draw.
Yeah?
People still went to go see this movie, so...
Well, and I think it was because the different kind of character he brought, maybe, or the super... Okay, so I kind of, even just now, I was going back and forth I did have a recommendation, but I went back and forth between two of them, and I'm just going to give you both because why not? After I was done watching this movie, my biggest takeaway was, wow, what a badass Stallone was in that movie, and kind of inspired me. Like, I want to wear those kinds of shades, and I just want to be tough like that. So I was trying to think of a movie that I had seen where I felt like a woman was that kind of a badass, where it had that kind of energy. So one might come sort of as a surprise, but I saw it recently on an airplane and I did enjoy it. And she was a badass in her own right. Did you see the movie The Zookeeper's Wife?
No.
About the, it's very good. It's about the husband and wife that took in kind of the Jews and the animals during the German invasion of Poland.
No.
It's with that Jessica Chastain.
I like me some Jessica Chastain.
She's very good in it. It's based off of a book.
Is
and she's
Stallone a co-writer of the book?
Of the book, probably. Again, it's not like comparative to Cobra, and it's like she's very brave in it, and she's very badass in it. She's protecting people and protecting the Jews at this terrible time, and anyway, there was that, and then a more obvious sort of badass female is in The Fifth Element. I love, and I would never say her name right, Mila Jovovich.
You know what? I have heard people say Jovovich, and then I've heard people say Jovovich.
Jovich? I think it's Jovovich.
I've heard that more, which makes me think that it's probably wrong, because I probably heard a bunch of dumb Americans
Let's just call her MJ. Let's call her MJ.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. Sure, why not?
Well, yeah. I love her little character in The Fifth Element. I like her, too. She's like,
I should, at some point, rewatch The Fifth Element, because I did not get it. I didn't like it the way everybody else seemed to. And the more I talk to people and the more people that like it, I think it was my fault. Like, it must be good. Enough people I know really like it. So it's probably on me. I don't know.
I like that you're taking your responsibility for that.
I am not ashamed to say that a lot of movies I don't like are clearly my fault.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. Oh, was I supposed to watch that? I didn't know. But so what? You've come up with a recommendation.
Okay. My recommendation is the guy who directed this movie did not direct a whole lot. He directed Rambo 3. Rambo 2. Which is kind of fun. But he also directed Tombstone. I had no idea.
Oh.
Which is a insanely enjoyable movie.
I really enjoy the Tombstone,
yes. It is great. And it's great performances by Kurt Russell, of course. But Val Kilmer is amazing in the movie. Yeah. And Sam Elliott's mustache makes sense in this movie. Most movies he's in, I'm like, you should... Why is that mustache here with you?
What you doing with that, bud? What you doing with that?
Yes. Yeah, but when you have a movie that's like at the turn of the century, I'm like, okay, Sam Elliott, not Sam Neill, you can wear that mustache here. It makes sense. So that is my recommendation. Go check out Tombstone. If you've never seen it and you've only seen, what's the Kevin Costner one? Wyatt Earp, which is terrible. Yeah. Yeah, watch Tombstone. It's more enjoyable.
Good recommendation. Yeah, nice job. Definitely.
So, Jamie... Yeah. First of all, thank you, Zeke. That was quite enjoyable to watch the movie and then to talk about it. And again, listen, if you continue Patreoning us, send us another movie because you get a movie a year. That's the thing. Send us another movie. Think about it. Take some time. Yeah. And then let us know what we should watch again. I totally trust you now. You told us to watch Cobra, and it was well worth the watch.
I agree. And I love it, too, because he wouldn't have known this. He wasn't in our brains. But it's a movie neither one of us had seen.
Right.
So that's kind of another fun and exciting thing that, it's sometimes we revisit these 80 movies that we've seen and that we get to watch again and kind of see them from a different perspective. But this was really fun to take this ride.
It's always fun to watch movies we've never seen. And Jamie, speaking of movies we've never seen before, we're about to enter our favorite month. Well, I don't know. A theme month, which is December for us.
Yes.
So while we've taken on sort of holiday themes in the past, we're going to take on a very different theme, and we're going to enter into 3D December.
Whoa!
Where everything's coming at you. Ooh, watch out. It's gonna get you, I guess.
Well, that was good. That was good, yeah.
Well, I don't know what that meant by it's really good. My hand motions, because people can't see that. We're going to talk about 3 movies that are all in 3D. Now, are we going to watch these in 3D? Probably not.
Probably no.
If we can find them online in 3D and we can get our hands on some 3D glasses, that's probably the only way this is going to happen. So we're going to have to use our imagination.
Our 3D imagination.
That's right. We're going to have to assume we know what it was like to see things jumping out at people in the theater. But we're going to start this little trip with a movie that I had never heard of. Oh. So certainly had never seen before, called Parasite.
Parasite.
With Demi Moore. She's back, everybody. It's been a while. It's been since, what was
St.
that?
Elmo's? No, the other one.
Oh, that weird pervy one. Oh, Blame It on Rio.
Blame It on Rio.
Oh, yeah. And for those of you who want to listen to us talk about Blame It on Rio.
Oh, you got to patronize.
Make ourselves physically ill talking about that movie. It's so gross. It is so gross.
It's very disturbing. Very disturbing.
That is on our Patreon page. So go over patreon.com/goodtimesgreatmovies. Check it out. Feel free to toss a few dollars our way. I hear that Paul Ryan is rolling out a huge tax cut to the middle class, right? Oh, wait, this just in, Jamie. He lied. So maybe you guys would hold on to your money for a little while. Unless you're in the Paul Ryan middle class, I think that's over $500,000 a year. So if you're in that bracket, you probably will get a tax cut. And
then
you
donate
should
away.
Go
Yeah,
page.
please. By all means.
Yeah. All right. So in 2 weeks, we enter 3D December with Parasite. Find that movie. Watch it. Who doesn't want to watch Demi Moore in 3D?
With a parasite problem.
She's got a problem with parasites. All right, everybody. We will talk to you in 2 weeks. So go watch Parasite, and we'll see you then.
Can you do a goodbye, Stallone style? You have to.
Hey, goodbye, Zeke. Thanks for recommending the movie. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your patronage. You know, it's not easy. Coca-Cola can only give me so much money for my movies, and Pepsi gets all mad because I'm taking all this Coke money, and I use this great display. I brought that display from home. I have it in my home office. It's really great. Looks like the Pepsi's being poured out, but it's not.
It really was a very realistic display. I'd never seen anything like that.
I wanted that. I wanted that display.
It was a really good one.
It was really so much product placement in that grocery store. And I think 7-Up was in it a lot, right? 7-Up's like a
7-Up.
I think that's a Pepsi product, right? Pepsi must have given them some money, and then he just snuck Coke in there for Poppy.
Because Poppy likes Coke and gummy bears.
That's why he's peeing all over the place. He needs to stop drinking all that Pepsi. It's a long road trip, Poppy. Just like
you gotta get it together. Oh,
all right. All right, everybody. That's it. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, and check us out on all of the ways to check us out.
All of those ways. We're on the Facebooks. Just type us in Good Times, Great Movies. We're on the Twitter at GTGMcast. And nobody, as far as I know, nobody has made us a Instagram account where it's just dog genitals at Good Times, Great Movies.
Smart.
Again,
smart.
If you want to make that, please do. Jamie put it out there. Just dog balls. I think is what she said. Let's go viral. Let's get that done. All right, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you then.
Working too hard.